It's a bright sunny morning out, and I decided to stone a couple birds at once. So we're out getting some exercise and as well trying to whip off a video. So today I want to talk about complaining, because I've been running into a lot of people who are doing a lot of complaining these days, and or people that are letting me know that there's a lot of complaints going on. And that can be rather detrimental, especially when those complaints are against other people, and especially when they're your own church family that you are complaining about and casting the blame on when they have no part in what is actually going on. So it's a rather interesting perspective that people have on how they perceive themselves and to be guiltless in these things. So I want to talk to you about that a little bit today. So let's get into it. Now, I don't have my Bible with me today to be able to rattle these things off. This is kind of an impromptu video. Anyway, a friend of mine sent me a Bible verse that would have went well with last week's video. It said, whatever things are pure, whatever things are noble, whatever things are of good report, paraphrasing of course, these are the things that we should be focusing on. So if somebody is bringing a bad report of someone else, that's not a good way to go. And on that note, there's also a video going around that I happened to stumble across. I watched about 5 seconds of it, because the individual was clearly complaining and running people down in a very public way. These were church leaders that they were running down, and I wanted to compare that with how King David dealt with the situation with Saul. So Saul was trying to kill him, tried to do it several times, and it eventually got to the point where David had the opportunity to kill Saul in a cave, and instead of killing him, he snuck up and cut the corner of his robe off. And Saul didn't even know that it had happened, and David confronted him afterward and said, why are you chasing me, all these things. And the interesting part of that is, he said how his men were encouraging him to kill Saul, since Saul was trying to kill him, of course. And David says, how could I possibly kill the Lord's anointed, or lay my hand on the Lord's anointed? Because Saul was anointed by the prophet Samuel to be king. And leaders, we can say, God sets up kings and tears down kingdoms. So if he has somebody in office and they're not doing the right thing, God will take care of them. We don't need to whine and complain and moan about them or about the individual. God will sort it out. And David felt bad that he even cut the corner of the robe off. And another time, Saul was trying to get to him, and David snuck in at night and took Saul's spear and water jug from beside his head. And the person that was with him said, let me thrust him through with my spear. I won't need to do it a second time. I'll kill him, and he won't even move. And David said, we can't be taking vengeance into our own hands, and I cannot touch the Lord's anointed. And once we have there a very good indication of what we should do when we have a problem with the people that God has placed in power. Because if they weren't serving a purpose, they wouldn't be there. That's my feeling anyway. And yeah, sometimes evil people are in power and we don't like it, and that happens in the church as well. And that's just, Satan gets his day in court, as I call it. He's still mostly running the show down here. Anyway, just wanted to mention that. And when you hear people complaining about church, not just church leaders, but church family members, just remember to say, listen, I don't want to hear any of that, and I don't believe that is the spirit that God's called us to be like. You know, we should have a much kinder, gentler spirit, and you know, ask them to not be doing that anymore with you. And if somebody has the spirit of criticism and complaining, don't listen to them, and if it's a video that you're watching, don't watch the video, because they're not doing things in a Christ-like spirit anyway. And if they were, they wouldn't be slandering people. They might criticize something that's happening, but they wouldn't criticize an individual so harshly and accuse them of things. Satan is the one that's considered the accuser of the brethren, and when we accuse and complain, we are partaking in his spirit, not God's spirit. So I pray that you would all take that into consideration, and also think about how you have treated people recently or in the past, and ask for forgiveness and make it right where possible. Anyway, we're going to continue on canoeing, and I'll do a little bit more filming of that, and it'll be hopefully nice and relaxing for you as well as it was for me. So have yourselves a wonderful day. Osprey. We'll leave them alone. Keep moving. The osprey's coming out after me. Not happy.